Hello and welcome to my kitchen. That's right, it's Thursday again. Doesn't it come around quick? Well, I'm excited about today's recipe. I think I'm always excited, but I love sharing my recipes with you because they're so quick and easy and healthy. So we're delving into book 7 this week, and it's a fantastic recipe that I think for winter, it's just one of those ones I love to make quite often, and it's the chicken cottage pie. Now, it is delicious, and I like, if you love my shepherd's pie, for example, different spin altogether, but quicker. Lots of chopping in the shepherd's pie. This one, it's really easy. But the good news is it serves 6, but you can also get it for serves 2 in the cooking corner too. So stay tuned on how you could win either book 7 or cooking corner 2, and I'll share how to do that at the end of the show. But I'm so excited. It's just 11 more sleeps until my 6-week winter weight loss challenge starts. It's going to be epic. So don't hide behind layers of clothing this winter and wait until spring to discover the damage done. Been there, done that. Instead, join my 6-week winter challenge and make spring your big reveal. I really want to help you to be the best you can be, so go and head to my website and find out more. simplytoogood.com.au/membership. And I hope you join, so we have a fabulous thing planned. Lots of fun things, lots of good food. I kind of say eat yourself slim on my challenges. Anyway, let's look at this fantastic chicken cottage pie. What you start with is frozen vegetables. And I'm actually going to get them in straight away because I want them to cook while I'm prepping the rest of the meal up. So what it is you want 500 grams of a vegetable frozen mix. Now in the book it says the mix is cauliflower, broccoli and carrot, but couldn't get that one, so I landed up buying this one here, which is the winter vegetables, and it's the same, but it just included beans, which I thought I'm okay with that. So it's 500 grams. We also want half a cup of frozen, oh there's a little bean there, frozen peas and frozen corn. So you know how when I said the shepherd's pie, lots of chopping. Well worth it though, it's a fabulous recipe. This is the veggies done. Cup of water, put the lid on, and I'm going to microwave it on high for 10 minutes. Isn't that easy? All right. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it went off. Let's do it that way. Okay, so veggies started. Can I give you those back, Bill? Because I want to put them back in the freezer. So I love it, so easy. All we have to do now is chop up some onion and chicken. How easy is this? I love it. So what we're going to do, let me bring all these in a bit. We want 3/4 of an onion diced, 600 grams of chicken, and I'm going to dice that as well. Teaspoon of garlic. Now you can use the fresh garlic if you want. Let me put this in my soapy sink. So we've got onion, chicken, garlic. Then we're going to use a cup of skim milk, and in it goes my secret ingredient. It's so good in this recipe. It's a spring vegetable simmer soup. Okay, it's not a cup of soup, it's a simmer soup, and that one really bams up the flavour beautifully. And so you have that. We've got a can of evaporated milk, we've got some corn flour. I'm going to add a little bit more milk because the cans now are only 340 ml when in the recipe it says 375 ml for the evaporated milk. So I'm just adding a bit more skim milk to it. And then we've got some pepper. Over here I've just got the ingredients for the mash that goes on the top. Now to save time, I've peeled and diced up my potato, because I'm sure you know how to do mashed potato. So I'm just going to mash it at the end with some milk, Floralite, and then we top it with some cheese under the grill. So it doesn't even need the oven. You happy with that? All right, so let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I want 3/4 cup of onion. So let's get that done. All right. Now the great thing about this recipe is that you can freeze it for a couple of weeks. So if you've got leftovers, you'll be happy. But remember, it is serve 6, but it can also be for just 2 of you. which is great. If you just don't want a pile of stuff in the freezer, then you will love the cooking fondue. Now we want 3/4 of a cup. I know I'll need more, but I thought I'd just put that in now. Thanks for joining me today. We are so excited. We've been working hard on this new challenge and working on the recipes, because you get a daily menu plan to follow on the challenge. So you get to really not only learn how to get your mindset right, but you also get to learn how to cook some really good recipes. No need to be deprived with my plans, that's for sure. All right, 3/4 of a cup. There we go. All right, so I might just leave that there and put this in my little bin over here. All right, what we're going to do now is chop up the chicken, and we want it to be in bite-sized pieces. All right, so I'm going to cut that down the middle. And imagine, you know, if you're making this just for two, you're only using such a smaller amount of chicken, and so it's economical, because, you know, you don't have all this waste if you're not going to eat it. What a clever idea I think those two books are. The More Cooking for Two, everyone's been raving about that one as well, which came out late last year. But as I said, I've got those veggies in now cooking. There's a little bit of yucky on that. And it's one of those recipes that I think we all love, because, you know, it's all in one, and you just have the potato on the top. I know kids love it too, and I think it's just clever as I show you how you don't need the oven for it, because what we're doing is we're cooking everything pretty well at the same time. Like I've just, you know, done my my potatoes over here, so they're hot. Now let me just wash my hands here. I know I'm going to pick up the chicken anyway, and okay, we're ready to cook. I know. How easy is this? All right, so let's fire up my wok. And I'm going to spray with the rice bran, because that's the really healthy one to use with good quality pans, because it really can hold the heat. Some sprays, like the virgin olive oil one, it changes the components of it when it's really heated at a high temperature, which is what you're doing with cooking. So virgin olive oil is really good for salads and cold cooking. All right, so I'm going to now just slowly, I got a sizzle, put in the pieces of chicken. I don't want to chuck it in all in one go, because it'll just stew, because the chicken's cold, and it will just drop the heat down in the pan very quickly. So vegetables are frozen, super easy. And I find that what I do is I have the vegetables in the freezer all the time. I always have the 600 grams of the chicken breast as well, and the simmer soup. And I always have the milks and that anyway. And you know what? When those surprise visitors come, you can make them something fabulous, because I always have potatoes in the pantry, and, you know, the basic things like onion and that. All right, let me wash my hands. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cook that for a little bit. Let me move everything over. Now, if you have any questions at all about joining the mentoring program, you can always email admin@simplytoogood.com.au and talk to us, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. We've had a few people that, for some reason or other, have had to leave the program over time, and they've really missed it, and they want to know if they can come back. Yes, we will welcome anyone with open arms, because that's my goal in life, is to motivate and help you to really be fabulous. That's what I want. All right. And I think you could change this. I mean, there is a variation. So if you're going, oh, I love this, but the kids are sick of it, or hubby's sick of it, or you're sick of it because you have it too many times, you can replace the chicken with fish. Yes, but get boneless fish that's firm, and I always like the bassa. The bassa's a good one for cooking for something like this. If you get, say, barramundi, it just crumbles up and it disappears. It's a too soft a fish, but it actually works really well with fish as well. All right, so I'm now going to put in a teaspoon of garlic. All right, there we go. And just combine that garlic in there with the chicken. And it really has got like a real following, this recipe. I know two of my daughters make it all the time for their family. The other daughter, she just doesn't cook as much. Like the other two cook all the time like me, and she just sticks to her old favourites. And as yet, I don't think this is one of her favourites. I might take it to her and convince her to have it. What do you think? Let's convert her. Yes, Miss Kelly, or Mrs. Kelly. All right, there goes the onion. Remember, it was 3/4 of a cup. There we go. I'll just put that in over my soapy sink. Now, I've got over here my strainer because I'm going to strain the veggies in the sink because I really don't want to burn my hands now because steam can be something, can't it? We don't want that happening. And I've got my mashed potato here as well, and I'm just going to mash that up. And it's still hot, so it should be fine. But the key to this recipe, why it's so fabulously clever, is that everything's hot when you put it together. And that's why it doesn't need to go in the oven. It's all cooked and it's all hot. So when you put the potato on, the potato's hot, the sauce and the chicken is hot, put the cheese on, and it goes under the grill. Serve it straight away. Or whenever you want, you can always just, you know, I've done it and made it in the morning because I had a busy day later in the day and I thought, oh, let's get dinner done because it's so quick. And then you just reheat it in the microwave. I know. How's my veggies doing? 45 seconds to go. But see, the chicken's cooking nicely here. It's nearly done. Nothing worse than it would be than having undercooked chicken. Because remember, it's all got to be cooked ahead. It's not, you don't want anything raw in here. That's why you microwave the veggies for 10 minutes, and that way it will just cook all those frozen veggies really well. I mean, the frozen vegetables are pretty well cooked anyway, aren't they? But you want that slight rawness taken off them. I think peas especially need that. All right, let's go over here. Yep, it's done. All right, so now I'm going to be a bit careful here because it's going to be hot. I'm just going to go over to my sink, carefully take the lid off because it will be steamy, and just pour the veggies in. All right, looking great. Here we go, in they go. A nice hearty meal for the whole family to enjoy. And it's a beautiful colour. I don't mind the beans in there actually. I mean, I love the beans. I mean, look, there's some frozen vegetables I'm not mad on, but I don't mind frozen beans. Now I've got a big chunk of cauliflower here, so I'm going to just cut it in half because it will sit better in the pan. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add the simmer sauce. Let me get my scissors. To the milk. There we go. Yep. Get my whisk. Oh, and I think, do I put the corn flour in too, don't I? Says me to myself. 3 tablespoons of corn flour, and this will really help thicken it up. Let me just stir my chicken. Oh, that's looking great. 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. Now just give that a whisk, and in it goes. How easy. I mean, it's just like you would think this is feeding 6 people and you're doing it in such a short amount of time. It's fantastic. Now I'm going to put in the evaporated milk. And that little bit of extra 35 mils to just make the can up to what it should be. Always like a bit of pepper in there. And now I've just got to bring this to the boil so that the sauce thickens. And the sauce is what really helps make this a spectacular dish for the family. And winter, we want this sort of stuff. Salads just don't cut it overnight, do they? Yes. Now I'm going to just move all this over here. And what I might do is I'm going to leave it in the pan while I mash the potato. Because once again, remember, I want it to be all hot. So it's nearly boiling. Here's my potato. It's still nice and hot. So I'm going to add in, let me just stir. I'm going to add in the tablespoon of margarine, and it's a 1/3 cup of skim milk. The cheese goes on top. Look at that, that looks amazing. So healthy and fabulous. All right, let's give it a good mash. You could do sweet potato as well if you wanted to instead of potato. Or what I've done sometimes is actually do half and half. So it's sort of got it doesn't look as white, but I like it. All right, let me turn this chicken off. It's good. Can you make sure you really cook your potato? Really, even overcook it if you have to, because there's nothing worse. Lumpy potato with raw potato in it. Ew, no. Can't have that, people. I need you to represent my recipes well. All right. Let's put this magic together. Here's my dish, which actually is the same dish that I used in the photos. See, I use my stuff in my own kitchen when this is all real here. Chicken cottage pie. Let's do this. Look at that. Oh, please. Yum. I've got to scrape all that out. I want everything in there. There we go. Put that over in the sink. Now just spread out your vegetables and your chickens. If you see anything, like I want a bit more sauce over that side. Oh, look at this. I'm going to turn the grill on too while I'm chatting. Now let me show you a tip on how to do the mash. What I love to do is, like get it so it's all even, and you don't want it to sink through. If you just put the whole lot in the middle, it wouldn't work. So what I do is I get a spoon and a fork, and I do dobs of potato, as I'm just doing right now, over the top, and then spread it. And that way it'll just stay really well on the top. And it's easier to spread that way too. And it's a generous amount of potato because I really wanted you to be able to, I'll just get another scraper. I have several scrapers in my cupboard. I love a good scraper. Okay, where do we need a bit more potato? There we are. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my fork and just move the potato along because I want to cover the top. There we go. Oh my gosh, how easy is this recipe, please? I want to know if you make it. Can you take a photo? If you make it, whenever you do, I'd love to see a photo. Just put it in any of the feeds in the Facebook, in the Simply Too Good, because I always look in there. And I'm going to just go along, make it look pretty. And last but least, the cheese. So it's 50 grams, and I'm using the Bega 50% cheese now because they don't seem to have the 30 much anymore, and I really like it. But please freshly grate it. The ones you buy pre-done are very hard and clumpy, and you don't seem to get that lovely melty cheese look, I don't think, as you do with this. Here we go. I know, under the grill. There we go. All right. So now that's going to take just a few minutes. So what I might do is I might clean up my mess, and I'll be back in a minute to show you the finished thing. Okay, so let's check out this fabulous chicken cottage pie. It's all done and dusted. It's just one of the easiest meals to make. Serve 6. Look at that. Don't you just want to tuck in? Oh my gosh, let me shut this here. And as I said, if you don't make it earlier, just microwave it. It's fantastic, no worries. Now, this is serve 6, and you now could win the book, number 7, which this recipe's from. Or if you want to make it just for 2 people, let me just show you the picture of it. It's very cute. I love these little serve 2s compared to this big, see there it is there. So that's it for 2 people. Cut it in half, in your belly, that's what I say. All right, so now you could win these 2 books, or one of them anyway, you can pick, but what do you have to do? Well, you have to like and share and let your friends know about this beautiful recipe, and then in the comments, you have to write the hashtag Simply Too Good. Hashtag Sim Too Good. Simply Too Good. I'll pick 3 fabulous people, and I will put the post up on Thursday morning of who those lucky winners were, so you can congratulate them. Hopefully it might be your name, you see. Anyway, now don't forget, we've got the challenge starting, 11 more sleeps. Super excited. Go to simplytoogood.com.au/membership if you want to find any more out. Now, next week's show, I'm going to be making a new recipe out of more cooking for 2. So I know a lot of you want to win that book, and it's braised steak and onion. Oh, yes. It is the easiest recipe. Once again, I keep saying it, but this one's probably even easier. And what a perfect recipe going into these colder nights. So join me next week for braised steak and onion out of more cooking 102. And it would be very easy to adapt it to make for 4 or 6, not a problem. And I will tell you how to do that. Remember, you can freeze it for 2 or 3 weeks. The chicken is 6.5 grams of fat. The fish is 5.5 grams of fat. So thank you for joining me for another fabulous Thursday with Annette. I'll see you next week. Bye now.